Good morning, Coach. You go up to Montreal, and we always look at numbers. You take a look at the division leaders. 3 of the 4 teams that lead the divisions right now were teams that were bounced in the first round. One of the only teams that went further than you, Montreal, is struggling. Vegas is struggling. They were also one of the last 4 teams. Is there any correlation to playing that deep, and then because of the short off season, for some of the reasons why those teams might have struggled?
Yeah, actually, I had this conversation with John Cooper, and we also had it with Pete DeBoer when we were in Vegas, and they felt the same way. I think you really look at it. You've had in, probably should be 16 months, I think now, roughly. I'm not good at math, but in that range, you started off and you went on a long playoff series. Then you had a short off season. Then you started up a season which felt like a 56 game playoff run, and then we went deep, and then you asked guys to get ramped up again. I think the emotional level for the teams that have played a lot of playoff games in the last 16 months and spent a long time in the bubble and all that, it probably is mentally they're not as enthusiastic to start. They know the grind that it takes. They'll be there. They're good teams, I believe. But I think some of the teams that have had longer layoffs, they're more excited about, hey, we haven't played for a while. This is, let's get into it. And I think there's a little more excitement in their game. They probably have a little bit more to prove, if you will. And so those 2 factors give them a slight edge. You see this every year. There's always a surprise, and there's always a disappointing team. Then you look in the middle of the season, and those things sort of reverse a little bit. For most part, there's still going to be a team that's going to be one that's everybody says is overachieving or playing really well, and there's one that'll be underachieving. So that's just the nature of the beast, and you can't control it. I mean, you look at Vegas, and they're talking to Pete DeBoer. I mean, he's dealing with a little bit of that funk that goes with playing a lot, and then a ton of injuries. I mean, he's been hit with major injuries, so those factors have played into some of that stuff. We haven't had the injuries, but we haven't played a lot of games either, and everyone's been on the road. And it was funny. You look at we're going into Montreal. Montreal didn't have a great road trip, and I thought they played very well last night. And they had that, the crowd was behind them, and they were back home. We don't have that for a while. So it's not an excuse, but it is a reality that you can't change it, because we're going into the enemy's territory all the time. So I think that'll make us better. If you have the right attitude to what's in front of you, then you're going to be better. You're just going to be better as a player, better as a person, better as a team. So unless your attitude stinks, and if it stinks, then you're going to be worse. So I don't feel that with our team. I think we've got a good group of guys, and we've got a good attitude, and because of that, I think we'll grind through this. I don't know, can't tell you how it's going to be before opening night, but we're going to grind through it, and we're going to get our best efforts. And if we don't get our best effort, we'll get it corrected. So we do. And we'll get to that point, and then the new arena and all that. That's got to give us some excitement, for sure.